Welcome back to the podcast. Today I have with me Jo, and Jo is the founder of Branding by Jo. And I am going to let her introduce herself. We're going to hear a little bit about her, and then we are going to talk about all things branding. So, Jo, tell us about you.
Well, first, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. And branding is obviously one of my favorite topics to talk about. About me, I founded Branding by Jo, started as just wedding photographer, side hustle. Finally decided to get the courage to go out on my own after 10 years. And branding, I say, always kind of fell into my lap. I was doing family photography, newborns, and I started getting phone calls asking if I did headshots. And I was like, no, no. No, well, hold on a minute. I'm getting all of these phone calls and I was like, well, you know what? I don't do headshots as far as like studio backdrops, but I can do lifestyle headshots if you would like. And as I started getting into that space, I realized it just lit me up. Being able to work with, and I chose female entrepreneurs. I think it's so close to my heart. Like a lot of times we want to be behind the scenes and we don't have the courage to be in front and forward
Yeah.
facing in our business. But yeah, it just kind of started with one mini brand photo session and then another, and, kind of morphed and grew from there. And I realized that for this phase of my life, it allowed me to marry all of my business experience. I was in operations management for 16 years. I got a master's in business with the creative side. And the bonus is that I get to do my work during business hours. So I'm working with business clients. So when I want to say I schedule all of my photo sessions during business hours, I don't get balked at. No more nights, no more weekends,
Hmm.
because that way I can be home with my kiddos or Ubering them around
Yeah.
to soccer practice or games or that kind of stuff. And I got in it on the photography side, and then over time I've just morphed into a boutique agency, all from a heart of service, watching my clients, kind of understanding what their pain points are, and then really just in the heart of wanting to become their biggest cheerleader and see them succeed, figuring out within my lane what I can do to support and help women really get to the next level, maximize their impact, and just thrive. Because so many times when we're doing all of the things,
Hmm.
what we need to do for our own business takes a back burner. And
Yeah.
so, and I just hear so many times too, like, I don't know where to start. It's information overload out there. And so there's all these shoulds, like I should be posting 5 times a day and I should be here and I should be there. And I'm like, I mean, maybe I don't know what your business is. I
Yeah.
need to know more information. And who are you trying to target? And then we can discover and discuss like what you should be doing. And I love to say done is better than perfect. So you have to start somewhere. And then as you grow and your business grows, then you can start to elevate and take yourself to the next level that way too.
And I absolutely love that because that's something that I am so passionate about as well is the whole like not listening to all of the shoulds and like, just jumping on essentially the trends that are out there. Yeah, trends are, sometimes a thing, but
Mm,
it's not getting caught up in thinking that you have to do something just because you've seen it. It's really like, what is actually going to work for you?
yes.
So huge.
So huge. And it's the trends are fun. And I joke, I'm like, listen, if you're the person that wants to dance across the living room because that lights you up and that's your personality and it fits, go for it. I'm not. I
Yeah.
don't want to be dancing on video. I tried one and I saw it go out and I was like, oh my God, I'm cringing at my own
Yeah.
Instagram. Like I can dance if I'm with my friends, but that just doesn't fit authentically who I am. And I am a firm believer in evergreen content and batch creating content. And what can we do to show up consistently, but aligned and
Hmm.
authentic? And then what's the purpose? If it just these trends, it's like it's going to live there for 5 seconds. And if you're getting caught up in the day to day, and a lot of times I hear my clients say, like, it's overwhelming. Trying to
Yeah.
create all of this content is overwhelming. And if you don't manage it and you don't structure it right, it will take over your life. And then you're not going to see a return. And you're going to be like, why did I spend endless hours on and trying to create content just to support a social media platform's algorithm because I posted more stuff, but it didn't become something that really truly impacted my business in a positive way. But yes, the shoulds. I'm
Yeah.
like, you have to determine what you need to do. And it's all based on what are you trying to offer? Who are you trying to serve? And where are they? Because
Yeah.
not all of our clients live in all of the spaces.
Yeah.
So, and you've seen it, like starting out with websites. Yes, I do believe that everyone needs a website. Does everyone need a 10-page website from the jump? Absolutely not.
No. No,
Like,
I would actually never recommend that because it is a nightmare. And so many people go there and they think that that's what they need. And two, they look at the templates, and oftentimes the templates have like all of these,
yes.
pages that you can add in. Those are options. They're options for you. That is not a must. Those aren't things that you have to have. Some of them don't even apply to your business. They're not like because they're there, you have to now develop those things for your business. They're just options because some people have that in their business, but you can get by with having, 4 pages for your website. It's usually like home, about, services, contact is the
Right. The
base.
bare minimum, right?
Yeah, but that's like such a good one because, yeah, many people are like wanting to go for this big thing. And I'm like, let's not do that.
Well, and I just had a conversation with some young ladies that are going to be graduating from an esthetician program. And one of the questions that they asked me was, how do I differentiate myself between all of the other competitors out there? And she's
Hmm.
like, what does my logo need to say? What does my business name need to be? And I looked at her and I said, well, honestly, the best way to differentiate yourself is just to be yourself and get
Exactly.
who you are out there. And she kind of looked at me like, that's not the answer I expected. And I
Yeah.
think we were chatting a little earlier. Most people conceive branding to be the logo, the colors, the fonts, and the website. And it's like, we can't move forward until we have these things done. And I can't tell you how many endless hours I poured into deciding what my logo was going to look like the first time or the second time, or I don't even know what variation of a logo I'm on at this point, but the hours I have spent or the hours I poured into the website, and then no one came to look at it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my goodness, this is so, but it's a misconception. And
Yeah.
so it's that piece about branding that, it's so much more than your
Mhm.
website and it's so much more than a logo and it's so much more than colors and fonts. It's what are we putting on those pages? And then how are we guiding those people? And then ultimately, my favorite is like, are you being yourself and do they know who you are? Because you've seen
Exactly.
this. How many websites have you looked at that you've never even seen the person's name?
So many, so many. Or I've had to ask people. There are things that I've had to ask people because they will use, like, let's say they'll use ChatGPT to write their copy. Things like
Mhm.
this is really common too. And I'm like, would you actually say that though in person? And they're like, well, no. And I'm like, then why are you putting that on your website? No, this needs to come from you. Like, say it like you would say it. Be
Right.
you, like, emulate you on there. That's what we're trying to do because that is your brand. It's you.
Well, I think a lot of people get caught up, and I admit 100% I did the same. When I was starting out, I picked somebody that I aspired to that had the level of
Mhm.
what I thought was success.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, if this is working for them, then I want to copycat it, basically. Like, I'll make
Yeah.
it my name, but it's going to be a similar feel and it's going to have the similar layout. And I'm going to take her words, but try to make them mine. And what you were talking about earlier, not every business has every little piece that fits in. And so like I looked at the copy and I'm like, okay, I used a template. And from this person, they sold a template. I was like, fantastic. And I remember trying to create the copy to fill in the blanks of the template. And I was like, I don't know what to say. I don't have
Yeah.
anything that fits in here. And then I felt like I had to make something up. And then I'm reading it and I'm like, I mean, I guess it's me, but like, would I really? would I really talk about that? Is that something that's as important as like maybe this priority over here? And then now like it's the copycat syndrome and I appreciate it and I understand it because again, I did it, but
Yeah.
it was when I finally got over trying to do it the way that somebody else was doing it. And I want to
Yeah.
clarify, I don't love to reinvent the wheel. So
Yeah.
I am all for working with a mentor, moved major needles in my business.
Hmm.
Um, but the key is learning from somebody what worked for them and then taking it and making it your own. You cannot
Exactly.
make it that you cannot try to force yourself into what they are. You just have to take what they did and then tweak it so that when you're reading the copy and you're looking at the flow of things or the colors, it's like I remember one of my clients, I was looking at the website and I was like, all right, let's talk about your brand colors. How did we choose these? And she goes, oh, because so and so used them. And she's like, to be quite honest, I hate pink. I'm like,
Why
your
are you
entire
using it?
website's covered in pink
Yeah.
and you hate pink. And I'm like, interesting.
Yeah.
And so then she goes, no, but that's what the other person had. And so I just thought that because I'm in this industry, I need to use pink. I'm like, well, you
Mm-mm.
mean you don't want to use a color that definitely doesn't fit within the realm of the industry? But if you hate pink, it can't be your color. Like you got to
No.
pick something that aligns. And then it's, the vibrant personalities that like you meet them and they're loud and they're fun and then they're like super quirky and completely confident in being their own selves. And then you look at their website and it's muted,
Yeah.
like soft colors, and there's a disconnect. It's like this doesn't fit. Just like if I were to try to have bold, vibrant colors on my website, you would meet me and be like, I don't really know why. I can't put my finger on what's not working, but this doesn't fit. And it's because I am, I can be loud, but I'm an introverted extrovert. It takes me some
Yeah.
work to put on the like game face. And then once I'm done, I'm like, all right, I need my couch. I just need some quiet time. But
Exactly.
that bold, vibrant colors doesn't work within who I am authentically. I kind of gravitate towards, some fun and I like to be spunky. And one of my last photo shoots, I did a leather top and I was like, this is super fun, but it was black. Like,
Yeah.
give me the black. And
Yeah.
I do black, white, and like a pop of like a bluish gray color. And that just fits me. But when I look at my branding and I look at my stuff, I'm like, this is me. So that when you
Yeah.
meet me, it feels aligned and cohesive.
Hmm. And it's funny that you say about the pink thing because I think that there have been industries where you can definitely tell there's like this copying thing going on where everyone's trying to have the same type of look in terms of
Yes.
their branding so that, they look like they're in this certain industry and they look like they're doing the same thing as certain people. And it's like, what for? You want to stand out. You want to stand out as you and really like showcase yourself, not blend in with what everyone else is doing. And it's like, it's so interesting, especially when someone says, that they hate the color, yet they were still using it.
Blows my mind.
I know, like, don't do that. Don't use it.
Right. Or, then I get the flip side too, where I'm like, why are we using this color? Oh, it's my favorite color. And I'm like, cool. So red doesn't always work with like every single industry, right? So it's
Yeah.
it's one of those things where branding is so much more than just the colors in the fonts, and there's meanings behind
Hmm.
all of it. And then my personal favorite is obviously like getting the person in front of their business and their brand. And we have known this. Like people like to do business with those that they know, like, and trust.
Hmm.
But somehow we forget when we go to start a business and we focus on all the things that are not going to create trust. A logo is not going to create trust.
No.
Not until you're at the point where like someone looks at your logo and knows exactly who you are. Like we look at the Nike swoosh, we have an understanding of what that brand is. We look at the Target, we know what we're walking into. But until your business gets to that level, they're not going to build trust by looking at your logo.
No.
So you have to let them know who is the person behind the business
Hmm.
and then letting them get to know who you are, what you stand for, what you're able to provide. And you're in website design. Like there are so many website designers out there, but yet you
Yeah.
still get clients. And
Yeah.
I'm in brand photography, and I feel like I'm second to real estate agents. Like if anybody ever puts a post out for like a photographer, like everybody and their brother is some sort of photographer, but I'm still getting clients because of me putting out what I do and what I serve in my way.
Yeah.
And if you are watching my stuff and you don't vibe with me, don't call me because then we're going to have a really hard time connecting and I'm going to have a hard time pulling you
Mhm.
out in your photos. But like you are watching and you do like it, and then it makes it that
Yeah.
much easier for me to be able to do my job because we have a good connection. But the only way that people can do that is if you actually start showing up and
Yeah.
your words. Like it has to be aligned. And the side effect of branding that I like to talk about too is the confidence that comes from it.
Hmm.
Because did you ever have a point in your business where you were kind of embarrassed by your stuff?
Oh, yeah. That's happened a number of times. I'll look back and I'm like, why did I do that?
Or even
Yeah,
while you
that's
had
definitely
it,
happened.
right? Where like I've had so many people pass me a business card and be like, ignore,
Yeah.
don't mind. It's really old. And I'm like, if you go to hand somebody something or a link to your website or whatever, like they're scanning a QR code, if you feel like you have to justify something, something is not aligned.
Yeah.
Like you should be able to say, come check out my stuff
Yeah.
and feel confident in it. And then what I'm finding a
Mm.
lot of my clients, when everything gets aligned and everything starts clicking, is that they walk into rooms different. Like
Oh,
they
yeah.
feel like they finally come into who they are. And so not only do their brand visuals look good and the messaging looks good and all that stuff fits, they own who they are in whatever they're trying to sell. I know that happened to me.
Yeah.
Like it took me forever to say that I was a professional photographer without it being like a side subject. Like if you would have met me in those first, I can't even say first 10 years. I think I was 2 years into full-time business before I confidently said, I am a brand photographer.
Yeah.
Usually you would hear like before when it was a side hustle, I'm like, I'm an operations manager, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, and I kind of do this thing on the side. I'd been
Yeah.
getting paid to take wedding photos for years and I still didn't own it. And even when
Yeah.
I got into full time, oh, hi, I'm Jo Espejo and I'm a photographer.
Yeah.
Versus, my first set of brand photos, I did a mini session. And I remember when I started posting my pictures from the session, I was blown away by the number of people that were like, oh, you're a photographer on my page where I had been posting pictures from my
Yeah.
work for years. And at the time, here's the best part, my business name was Jocelyn Espejo Photography. And no joke, I posted my first picture from my brand session. I didn't even have a camera in my hand. It was just a really pretty, like, lifestyle full body headshot. And the number of comments I started getting, like, oh, I didn't know you were a photographer. I didn't know you were, I was like, you have been liking my photos. And they're like, oh,
Did you look at the name?
we didn't realize it was you. They were not looking at the name and they were looking at the work.
Interesting.
And so this
Yeah.
is where I'm like, guys, like we are putting information out there and
Hmm.
they're not associating it with us. Like they're just associating the work. So I had my makeup done before a photo session I had in April. And I was talking to the makeup artist and she's telling me that she posts on a regular basis. And I was like, fantastic. I was like, let me take a peek at your Instagram. So I'm scrolling through and I was like, I don't see you anywhere in here.
Hmm.
Like, where's your face? And she goes, no one needs to see my face. They only want to see my work. And I went, okay. I said, so what's stopping people from taking your work as an example to go to the makeup artist that's letting people know she's the makeup artist? And her
Yeah.
jaw dropped. And I said, you are not letting people know that you are the one that can do this. You're just showing and becoming basically like a Pinterest board of beautiful, amazing makeup work. But unfortunately, people aren't paying attention to the name that's at the top of the profile. They're just looking at the pictures.
Yeah.
And then they'll take your work and be like, hey, can you make me look like this? Without thinking, like, oh, let me go. But the people that are able to interweave who they are, people start to associate, like, oh, this is the makeup artist that can do this work. So then
Mm.
I want to book her. But yeah.
So interesting. I wonder if it's also because I've been thinking, like, as you're saying this, I wonder if it also has to do with like all of the faceless accounts and things like that, the popularity of that coming up and people thinking that that's an easier way to do content.
I mean, honestly, I think the not wanting to be out there has been going on since before the faceless accounts. I think the faceless
Yeah.
accounts have come up because people don't want, they're afraid.
Yes. And I think that that made it even easier because I've heard this talked about in like alongside them saying, this is the way that you don't have to be out there, just create this faceless account and then you don't have to show yourself. And so I think it's been more of a permission, even more of a permission thing, you know, to be able to do this and like not show yourself. But you are right, like it's always been a thing. But now that these have come up, it's like even more, you can
Well,
just do it this way.
and then how do you differentiate yourself though?
I have no idea.
At that
I don't
point, like
know.
if it's all faceless and now we're
I have
just using
no
the
idea.
same, you can only say, I used to hate this question, what differentiates you from everybody else? And I'd get uneasy. I'm like, I mean, I'm a great photographer, but so are so many other people. Like, oh,
Mhm.
I offer this service, but there's somebody else that can offer something similar. And so I used to get uneasy because I'm like, I don't really know. Like, I guess. And then now I'm like, it's me.
Yeah.
That's what differentiates me from everybody else because I'm different. So when you're working with me, the way that I talk to you, the way I make you feel, the way
Mhm.
that I help guide you through the process, it's just different. So working with me, that's the differentiator. I have the same
Yeah.
skills. And if you were to look at like my style, there's other photographers out there that shoot similar to how I shoot. When it comes to the technical stuff, like I've trained right alongside other professional photographers. I've taught myself a lot, but the differentiator, and I had to own that. It took me a really long time to settle into the comfort that the differentiator was me.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I'm not going to be for everybody. And I have to be
Yeah.
okay with that too. Like it has to be okay that I am not the fit for every single person out there.
Yeah.
But for the people that I am a fit for, like we party. I love
Yeah.
working with my clients that are a good fit. Like it's, and then that's when work becomes fun.
Hmm.
But that's the key to the branding that I think a lot of people are missing. And
Hmm.
then the key is also in the messaging. Like it's
Yeah.
not just the visuals. I like to tell people the pictures are what stop the scroll so that they
Yeah.
can actually read what you have to say.
Yeah.
So you can't just have words and you can't just have photos or just have reels. Like you have to have words and then
Hmm.
what are you saying? And so I've gotten a lot of feedback lately from the last few clients that I've signed that said, you resonated with me. The way
Yeah.
that you're saying this, the way that you're telling the story, the way that
Yeah.
this came across, or the fact that you shared that this happened, or I'll be the first one to say, I'm a professional photographer. I like to be behind the camera. You
Yeah.
decide that you want me to be in front of the camera, and I'm like, okay, hold on.
Have to
And I
switch here for a second.
Yes, and I laugh because I'm like, I don't do self-portraits. I need to work with a professional photographer because I need someone telling me what to do on the other side. You know,
Hmm.
sit here and guide you all day long, but I'm looking at you. If I'm standing in front of the camera, I'm like, I can't see myself. Like all of a sudden, I feel like I have T-Rex arms too. Like, what the hell do I do with my hands?
Exactly.
You're like,
What?
where do I? And so I think I mean, it could be, I say my superpower is making people feel comfortable on camera. But honestly, what it really is understanding who my people are so that I can see them and I can help them bring their vision to life. And that's
Hmm.
through listening to what they want to do, but then knowing how to help that come to fruition.
Yeah.
And then it helps too that I'm not a super confident person on camera. So there's been certain tips and tricks and things that I do to help ease the process. And it's like anything, the more you do it, the easier it gets. Like I'm now, I don't know how many photo shoots in because I get photo shoots done at least 3 times a year, if not more, for myself because I churn through my content.
Hmm.
Um, the more I do it, the easier it becomes.
Yeah.
But video, we still don't get along. It's one of those like I can't say that I hate it anymore. I think I've finally gotten past hate it, but we're still in that working through not liking it. And this kind of thing, or if I'm talking to somebody, like I don't have to look at myself. I can look at you right now. And so
Yeah.
now I can kind of see that I'm there, but I'm not focusing on all my little quirks that drive me crazy.
Yeah.
If I am just talking at the camera, I start to focus on, and it's exactly what I tell my clients not to do. I'm like, you're supposed to focus on the things you love versus the things that you don't. But when I get on video, I start focusing on why does your mouth move that way? Why
Yeah.
is your eye like that? Like, what did you do to your hair? And then I get sidetracked in what I'm trying to say. And
Yeah.
then, I still have some things I'm working through is like, does anybody even find value in what I'm saying right now?
Right.
But like having a conversation with somebody, this is my favorite way to create content because I'm like, now I'm just having a conversation and the
Yeah.
video just happens to be a byproduct of it
Yeah.
versus hitting record. So, but that helps me with my clients too, because then I can help with some of the tweaks. And I like to tell people ease in. You start with a small session. If you haven't done video and you're not comfortable talking on video, start with the videos that don't have talking.
Yeah.
And then work your way into doing this. I tell people all the time, I'm like, get a friend to hold the camera because
Yeah.
then you can't see it and then pretend you're talking to the friend. Get them to ask you a question and answer. And
Yeah.
now you're getting yourself talking on camera without having to sit there with the selfie stick and the whatever.
Yeah.
Whoever decided that video was the way to go, really, like, I was like, it's very not nice for those of us that don't like to be
Yeah.
in the spotlight. And I appreciate it because I know that you can get to know somebody through photo, but then with
Yeah.
video, you can hear inflection and you can hear more of the personality.
Yeah.
And I do get it, but I don't love it. And like, for those of us that are not like, yes, we're going to be on video, this is a
Yeah.
lot. And it's added to the plate.
It
Like,
takes, I think it takes a lot of getting used to, and I think it takes getting the way that I've gotten better with it is just getting comfortable with the way that I want to do it and then not giving a shit what anyone else thinks.
yeah,
So I really love doing videos on TikTok because I do it so low key and low effort and I talk to the camera and I don't care. And so that has helped me a lot because that's really easy. And I think that that has been so helpful to get more comfortable on camera because I'm able to just like talk and say what I want to say
right.
and like not care about it. And I think doing that has been one of the best things because oftentimes, like you said, we are always second guessing like what we're saying, what we're looking like, all of these things that we're doing. And and it took a shit ton of practice. And I've posted like the first video that I ever posted online, and it was before I had my business. And you can see like how nervous I am and everything. It was interesting because I entered this like fitness challenge thing, and one of the things was we
Okay.
had to post a video. And I posted this a while ago and I said, like, I've come from here. And then I posted my podcast. It was like this reel, whatever. And just looking back at that, but it's gotten so much easier over time because I've worked on just not caring at all. But it
You
takes a lot of work.
It does. And you have to get out of your own head and you have to get
Yeah.
out of your own way. And then what I like to tell my clients is that somebody out there is waiting for you to have the courage to show up and let
Yeah.
them know you exist. Because you are meant to serve somebody. Like if you have this calling on your heart to provide a service, whatever it is, there's somebody out there waiting and
Mhm.
there's a reason. And so you're meant to serve somebody or lots of people, and you just have to have the courage to show up. But then I hear like, oh, I need to lose, 20 pounds
Yeah.
or I want to lose. I'm like, your clients don't care.
No,
No one else cares.
no.
You're going to get on there and they're going to be like, oh, I see you. They're not going to see the extra whatever
Mhm.
pounds you think you have. Or, okay, well, and then I think the other one that I hear a lot is I want my business to become successful first.
Yep.
And then I'll come back and invest and then visit the branding. And I'm like, okay, but it's like which one came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
how fast would you like to get there? And
Yeah.
the branding is such a key piece, but it's I think too, I think we started to clarify it, but to be clear, branding is so much more than just a logo, colors, fonts, and a website. Like so many people, I was in a mastermind type group and I'm hearing somebody say, you don't have to worry about branding. Just get out there. Start. This
Mhm.
is my favorite part. You don't have to worry about branding. Just get
Yeah.
out there. Start showing up, letting everyone know who you are and what you're there to serve and what you're there to offer, and just talk to people
Yeah.
and let them know, all these things about you and what is an experience with you going to be like. And so then I pipe in and I'm like,
It's branding.
that's branding. She's like, what? I was like, that's personal
Spoiler.
branding.
Yeah.
Like, hi. Like, yeah, you want to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if anything, start there and then work your way back to the logo and all those pieces. But I'm like, you need to have something. You need to have at minimum, ideally, starting with a 4-page website is great. But I'm like, if you don't even have the wherewithal to do a 4-page website, can you at least do a landing page so that
Yeah.
somebody has somewhere to go? And
Yeah.
then I'm like, guys, the logo, like, you're not married to it. Please don't tattoo it to your body because I can pretty much guarantee you are going to revise it and tweak
Yeah.
it. And then pick a business name. This poor girl that was in the class the other day, she was like, I'm having such a hard time picking a business name. And I said, well, just pick one. And I go, my recommendation is to pick something that is either tied to you or that defines what you do. Don't make people guess what it
No.
is. And,
No.
it's like if it's confusing, then it's going to be harder for you. I said, but if you can just pick a name that you like, that's easy to say, don't make it a 5 word mouthful.
No.
And then I also said, I'm like, check and make sure the domains exist and check and make sure that you can get the Instagram handle. Because how many times have you seen a business name that has like an underscore or it has something different because their
Yeah.
business name was already taken? But
Yep.
then the problem is that people go to type in your business name and they're getting directed to the other business
Yeah.
because they don't know to put in the cute little underscore or the at symbol or the 7 that you decided to add on. And
Yeah.
so it's just,
Exactly.
but I've changed my business name. I've changed what I offer. When I
Yeah.
started, I was in wedding photography and then I added on families and then I added on, newborns and then I added on like I dropped weddings because wedding photography no longer suited me. I was gone on the weekend when my kids had sports and I didn't want to do that anymore. And then I had a love-hate relationship with newborn photography. I loved it, but I was not an expert in pose newborn photography. So I was doing lifestyle. But then I found myself getting ready for newborn sessions and being frustrated and like, oh, like, yay, I get to go snuggle with the baby, but like, oh my gosh, this is going to be physically taxing on my body and I have to carry all this stuff. And then all of a sudden it dawned on me, I'm like, I don't have to. I'm
Yeah.
choosing, I'm choosing to do this. Hold on. And I tried to carry both for a while where I was doing family and branding. And then my mind walking into a family session versus walking into a brand session and then who am I talking to? And
Yeah.
I know there's lots of people out there that can do multifaceted pieces or they have multiple businesses. More power to you. For me, at this phase of my life, when I'm running around trying to be a mom and a business owner, oh, and a wife and a person,
Yeah.
like outside of all of those
Yep.
things, having one focus has been super easier, much easier for me. So I
Yeah.
decided to niche down to branding and it was a hard decision. I was letting go of a lot of revenue.
Mhm.
Family was a big revenue stream for me.
Oh yeah.
But then switching and being able to focus, my business has actually taken off because I can focus on one thing and I can take the time. And then honestly, I'm happier. And
Yeah.
it's not that I didn't love taking pictures of my moms, like with their families, because that really, like, that lit me up. What didn't light me up was trying to figure out how to two children off in two different places, make it to a family session, and then make it back to pick up two kids and figure out all the pieces. And
Yeah.
so I was like, oh man, like there's so much conflict in my life and what I want in my
Yeah.
story. So then now, like, part of my brand story is that I own and I now moved in and I specifically niche down. And then I pivoted. I just did photography and then video started becoming a thing. And so then we added on video. And then now, naturally, from me being able to find solutions to social media and partnering with people to do like the websites and doing all these pieces, now I'm like, guys, we can help with that too. Like I don't
Hmm.
have to send you all over the place, but I've pivoted. So
Yeah.
now, and my logo, my goodness gracious, I can't tell you how many times I've changed it.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I was so happy with my logo, loved it. I was like, this is so cute. I don't want to change it. Exactly what I want.
Yep.
Looks perfect on the website. I sponsored an event and I walked in and I saw it up on the screen and I was like, is that my logo? I can't even read it. You
Oh
couldn't read it.
no. Oh
It
no.
was it was a beautiful like cursive font,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
but up on a screen like or on one of
You
those like
couldn't.
wall, I forget what they're called now, but you know what, like conventions and all that
Yeah,
stuff that they have
yeah.
the wall with the logos on them.
Yeah.
You couldn't read it
Oh
unless you
no.
literally got up right next to it and you were
Yeah.
standing like right in front of the wall. You couldn't read it, and I was like, well, that's not going to work.
I guess that's done.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And I'm like, okay, well, here we go, back to the drawing board. And so now
Yeah.
I've got a version that I'm like, I need to be able to read it small. I need to be able to read
Yeah.
it big. If it's blown up and put somewhere, like I want it simple.
Yeah.
And I got away from the fancy and, like it's even now my favicon has branding in it and just has the Joe with branding because I'm like, if I put it somewhere, I still want people to know what it is
Yeah.
without, having to guess.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what does she do? I do
Yeah.
branding. Like that's
Yeah.
it. Keep it simple.
Yeah. I know mine's my name. That's
I
nice.
mean, what easier way to pivot to? Because now you can decide whatever you want to do.
I know. It's just always been my name.
That's
Well,
awesome.
except for with my fitness business. It was Tara Leeson Fitness, but like also very easy. But
Yeah.
now it's just Tara Leeson. But I should check because mine is like scripty, so it probably would do the same thing. And now I'm scared. It's been that forever. It has been the
Well,
same forever and it's simple.
it looks good on the website. I saw it. Now, would it look good if you decide to like
Put a
sponsor something? I
website.
don't know.
I know.
So
Now
you
I'm
know what
like,
you could
oh
do is just
no.
do a second
But
version.
yeah, that's probably what I should do because I don't want to change the whole thing. I actually like it
Yeah.
and I just want to keep it like that because it's so simple.
Well,
It's
and I think
like
some
whatever.
people get caught up in it has to change. I'm like, well, mine
Yeah.
unfortunately was too cut in and I was like, well, it's not going to work without changing. And I was okay. I like the
Yeah.
consistency, but I do have a version that's different because a square or rectangle, I think, is my actual, like my branding by Joe is long enough that it has to go out into a rectangle format, but you can't put a rectangle logo into everything. There's so
Yeah.
many things that require a circle. And so
Yeah.
then I tell people all the time, I'm like, have different versions too, where you don't have to guess. Now you're not flying on this like by the seat of your pants trying to get something to fit. There's consistency. And then you have logos that you use for specific things. Like if it's going to be this, this is the version. If it's going to be a circle, this is the version. If it's just to put a stamp on something, now I've got something simple. But
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
And
such
it's all
a
the
good
things that you
idea.
just don't think about. Like
Yeah.
you're like, I just want it to be pretty. Yes, but then it has to be readable and it has to be usable.
Hmm.
And then, we get into all that so much.
Now you've just made me think about it because mine is also, I think it's only good for rectangle right now. So now I have to.
Yeah. And I'm trying
It'll
to,
be an easy fix. It's fine. But
well, and it's just a variation that you could always create
yeah,
too, where it's like, can I stack it? Because I've done that sometimes where we have a
exactly.
rectangle version, we have a stacked version, and then there's a circle version. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Interesting.
the consistency is a key, keeping life
Yes.
simple.
Yeah.
Like, and then ultimately, what we keep coming back to is that authenticity. Like, you just
Yes.
have to be you.
And that's so huge. That is so huge. I find that that's like one of the biggest things right now. It's interesting because I actually just saw someone post about how this is so dumb. The trust recession obviously isn't real because this is so stupid because Alex Hermosi like had the big book launch last weekend, and I was like, okay, that's bullshit. Um, for so many reasons. That doesn't prove that the trust recession is not real. Um, you have to be authentic and real. And because he had a big book launch, does not prove that this trust recession isn't real. And I'm not saying like trust recession in the terms of like nobody's buying. But there is a real thing going on where people are truly looking for real, authentic people to invest with and to connect with online. Like they really, really want that. What happened with his launch, he has a shit ton of followers. Like he's
Yep.
already built this massive brand that like he was going to get a ton of money anyways. It's not even it's not a correlation. Like that's just not a thing. But that have being real, being authentic, being true to you, that's how you build a sustainable business. And that's how you get through these things like a trust recession. That's how you actually sustain your business long term.
Yes. Well, and it's like if you fake it, like sometimes I joke about faking it till you make it, but that's more in like the confidence side, right? Like if you're super
Yeah.
nervous about something, or there's a lot of times that being a business owner, you're going to be encountered with things that you're like, oh man, do I really need to stand up? And it's like, yep, I'm going to stand up in front of this room. I just did it
Yeah.
last Friday. Stood up in front of a room of 60 something plus women to introduce myself. And I got nervous.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, but
Yeah.
I did it anyway. And that's
Yeah.
where it's like, you've got to work through those moments. But if you're true to who you are and you're authentic, it's easier because if you're trying
Yeah.
to fake and be somebody else, then when something hard happens, you're getting into a moment where you're nervous. And then it's like, well, now wait, I forgot what facade I was supposed to be putting on right
Exactly.
now. When even just admitting to someone that you're nervous, like people,
Huge.
if you're in the right room,
People
then
will respect that.
people will support you through it
Yep.
because they're like, oh my gosh, you're being vulnerable enough to tell me that you're nervous.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And
Yeah.
then it's doing it though. It's like you said, your first
Mhm.
video, you look nervous. Now you're like, making TikTok videos, it's in the bag. That's fine. I don't even care.
No.
Podcast videos, good.
Yep.
Golden, fine. Although my podcast manager was like, hey, can we get some of you by yourself? And I'm like, eh.
We will work on that.
I will have to get back to you on that because, I still am working through getting nervous. So
6 months
you didn't get a
later.
didn't get a flat no. We're still
Yeah.
working through that. But like it's also I have to convince myself and catch myself to say things like to stop saying things like I don't like making videos because
Yeah.
then my mind believes it. So I have
Yeah.
to start saying like and this is where for me my trick has been I don't want to lie to myself. So I don't say things like I like making videos.
No.
Because in my mind, I'm like, no, you don't. Like,
Yeah.
stop lying. It's
Exactly.
fine. But the biggest thing that I did was that I said, I love working with my clients
Yep.
and I love finding a way to connect with them.
Yeah.
And so in my mind, I'm like, if this video is going to get me one step closer to my next dream client,
Hmm.
then fine. And it may take me 30 takes and it's fine, but like I am working on cutting my takes down too. Cause taking 30 takes to make a 30-second video is just asinine. Like who does that?
Takes
Me,
a long time.
by the way, I do.
Okay.
And it's
Yeah.
and it's fine. And then sometimes I sit down and knock them out super quick. And then other
Yep.
times I'm like, walking away, we're gonna do this again tomorrow because
Yep.
I am now 45 takes in and I still don't like it.
Yeah.
But it's I think it's the being true to myself. And then I really hold on to the fact that someone out there is just waiting for me to have the courage. And
Yeah.
maybe it's that next video that comes out that's going to speak to someone in a way that's like, yep, like that's what I needed to hear. Or
Exactly.
she just had the courage to keep showing up regardless.
Yeah.
And then now that's the next step.
And I think that that's so important. And it's like sometimes you just have to have that honesty. Like sometimes I will be really nervous to share something, and I will just say, like, you know what? I'm actually really nervous to talk about this. And
And
then I will
people
go
give you
on and
in.
talk about it.
Yep.
And people appreciate that because most people feel like many people feel the same way. And it's okay to actually admit that. And a lot of people are like, oh, I actually like that you said that,
Right.
because many people feel the same way. And then it just kind of like gives that permission to be like, okay, so even though you're feeling nervous, you still went ahead and did it. So maybe I can too. Like
Yes.
it's just kind of that whole permission thing because you can be nervous. You can even say that you're nervous and still do the thing. Like, and
Hmm.
it's okay to admit that you are. It's not like that's
It
not
makes you human.
fair. Exactly. And I think we forget that sometimes. Like, it's not like, even standing up in front of a room of people. Most people, that's not natural. Like, majority of people are going to feel nervous, and it's okay if you're like, I'm actually nervous standing here.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
You just have to own it. And I think that's the
Yeah.
piece where like so many of us get caught up in watching other people that are successful. And it's like, oh
Yeah.
man, they're getting on stage and they're so confident. Well, how did they
Are
feel the
they
first time they
really?
got, well, one, are they really? Or
Yep.
are they just really good at hiding their nerves?
Yeah.
Two, how many times have they been on stage? And so now they are comfortable, but
Yep.
they may not have been the first time or the second or the 100th. And I think there's times where I go to do something and I'm like super comfortable. I'm in a networking group. I get up and speak every Tuesday we're now down to 30 seconds. But regardless, some weeks I get up and I'm like, on it, own it, great. Here's what I have to say. Other weeks I get up, I'm like, uh,
Mm-hmm.
forgot what I wanted to say. Like, and now I'm
Yeah.
nervous and now I'm going to freak out and so even though I do it on a regular basis, the first can't tell you how many months I would get to the point that I felt like I was getting all blotchy and then like my hands would kind of shake because I just wasn't
Yeah.
a fan of getting up in front of a room of people. And then now there's days I get up and I'm like, well, if I'm feeling that way, I'm just like, I'm just going to read today. I'm just going to read what I have to say. And then other days I
Yeah.
get up, I'm like, yep, here's the story I want to tell, or here it is, whatever. And I'm just super confident, but like it just ebbs and flows. And
Exactly.
then I think people do resonate with that like honesty.
Yeah.
Like, here it is. This is what I do. And
Yeah.
that's been the biggest gift to myself and to my business is
Yeah.
just giving myself the permission to be authentically me.
Yeah.
And that meant for me saying no to some trends. Like I had a
Yeah.
social media manager once that told me you need to do these trending things. And I'm like, I told you I tried the one and I was like, that felt disgusting. Cringe for myself. Now, I will watch someone else do it and I don't feel the same.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
I don't have an issue with you doing it. If you're comfortable, fantastic. But for me, and so then I finally pushed back and I was like, no, like,
Yeah.
not going to do it. I don't want to. I want to do stuff that feels like something that I would do and
Yeah.
that feels authentic to me. And and honestly, I need it to be evergreen because I don't have a lot of time to create content. And
Yeah.
so I want to batch create my content and I want it to be like if you stumble across my video however many years from now, hopefully it's still relevant in some way. Who knows what the trend is going to be as far as like what's important then versus what's important now, but at the end of the day, authenticity is never going to lose. I
Yeah.
don't care.
No.
I don't care how much AI we have running
Yeah.
businesses and doing all those things. Like, and you nailed it earlier when you were talking about the copy. You have to watch what ChatGPT pushes out because
Yes.
even if it's trained, as I like to say mine is, I'm like, listen, I've really worked through mine. I've got it
Yep.
trained most of the time. It does a good job. But
Yep.
every once in a while, I'm like, what is that? I don't
Exactly.
I don't speak like that. I don't say
Nope.
that. Or it'll be something completely off the wall.
Yep.
Like, so we do that with the
Yeah.
editing too. I was watching someone edit the other day and the same. I have like this clone option and five photos, it works perfectly. The sixth one, it adds something in. I'm like, where did you get that from?
It's like an extra nose.
It is, or like an extra foot,
Excuse me.
or it created like one of the times I was just trying to take off an air handler out of the photo and it created a lamp.
Good. Like
And I was like,
what?
what? Why are we
No.
a lamp? Like, where did you get the lamp from? There's not even a lamp in the photo anywhere.
No.
And then five photos in of removing this air handler. And then I'm like, and now we have a lamp. So
No.
AI can only get so far. And
Exactly.
you have to be able to speak like you, and people are noticing. Like, this is the part that I think,
Totally
and people are gravitating towards the brands that are willing to be authentic.
human. I find this such a fascinating conversation because so many people are like, AI are going to take over our jobs. Like, if you don't get into AI fully, like, you're screwed. And I'm like, I don't think so, though. Like, yes, AI is helpful to a point,
Right.
but we still need human. And AI messes up quite a bit. Like, quite a bit.
I mean, how many times have you called a customer service and gotten like their AI and then you're just like representative? Like, I just want to talk
All
to
the
a
time.
person because, and it's good. And I think with the AI trends, there are a lot of things that have made life a lot simpler and a lot
Oh,
faster.
yeah. Yeah,
Like
for sure.
loving me some AI for some of the different things. But at the end
Yeah.
of the day, like I'm actually exploring having AI help me with calling and all that stuff. But my end result is to get on a call with me. Like,
Yeah,
I want you talking to me. And we were
exactly.
talking about scheduling the other day, and someone was like, do you just let people schedule right on your calendar? I'm like, no, they have to talk to me first, and
Yeah.
then they get a link. Like,
Yeah.
I want to have some sort of connection with you and have a
Yes.
conversation, and then I will have you in front of my camera. Like,
Yeah.
I need to have that piece first. So,
Yeah.
even though AI is helping as far as and workflows and processes, and that
Yeah.
helps with the branding aspect of my business with the customer service because I've gotten complimented on my follow-up or like
Yes.
the emails and all that stuff. And to be honest, like before automations and some of these CRMs and all that stuff that help, sometimes I would nail it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wouldn't. Just depended on how busy life was or
Yeah.
how hard life was lifing. And so it really helps with my customer experience. But I created the words. I am the one that's still providing a service and some connection. And then the
Yeah.
emails are just a way to be touch points, to provide information, to guide my clients, to help them feel like they're prepared. And then moving through. So, yeah, I'm with you. I don't think AI is going to eliminate
Yeah.
our jobs. I think it's going to shift how, and it already has, it's
Yeah.
shifted how a lot of us work. Um, it's going to shift expectations, I think, too,
Yeah.
because I think gone are the days where people are going to accept you not calling back and
Yeah.
accept like not having communication because it
Hmm.
is an option that's so easy now.
Yeah.
So the people that are still holding on to, I don't have to call you back or like those
Yeah.
pieces, I'm like, you'll get left in the dust and it's already happening because
It is.
before the person that got, I can't tell you how many times I've won a client simply because I answered the phone
Yeah.
or
Or a
I
question.
I returned their phone call.
Yes. I know. I see the same thing and it's so interesting because and this is something that like in terms of systems and automations, I tell people all the time, automate your tasks, not your connection, all
Yes.
the time. And
Yes.
it's the similar thing. And it's like, I have had the same experience because I will go into my DMs and it's me that you're talking to.
Mhm.
It's not a bot. And I will do that forever. I love talking to people. Like, I am so open to that. I absolutely love it. And I think that that's where it's gone too far, is that people are automating all of these conversations. And that is also a part of your branding because if that's what people come to expect from you is automated conversations.
Well,
Well,
and there's for me, I'm like, what's that line? Like you have to have, and
mhm.
you also have to find what you're comfortable with and what can you
Yeah,
manage. I always tell people, I'm like, consistency is key.
yeah,
And so automations for me have helped me be more consistent in how I
yeah,
want to deliver the experience. And then I love talking to people and I love communication. Many chat and I don't necessarily always get along because I do like the initial response. Like if you're commenting on a word or whatever, I
yeah.
don't love the fact that if it takes them a day to re-engage, like they get the same auto message again.
I know.
And I'm like, ugh, like I used to communicate with my hair and makeup artist and I would get like an auto response. I'm like, God, like
Or
yeah, got it.
like triggers
It's,
at a weird time.
it does. But At the same time, though, there have been times where I have appreciated an
Yeah,
immediate response. So you have to find the line that
yeah,
you're comfortable with. And the DMs and I, like, if you're relying on me, it could be a few days before I get back to you.
yeah,
So I kind of like to have a little bit of automation so that it's like
yeah,
you're in the right place, you found the right thing. And then, oh,
yeah,
by the way, so like my email will go out. If you inquire on my website, you automatically get an email from me. But it also outlines the fact that I prioritize family
yeah,
and I don't respond at nights or the weekends or on
yeah,
full session days. Because if you're a client of mine and I am standing in front of you for a photo session, you are getting my
yeah,
undivided attention.
yeah, which
I
makes
can't
sense.
I can't go answering emails. And then usually by the end of one of those days, I'm tired. Or
Yeah,
the reality is I'm pulling into the driveway, turn around and pull right back out to go somewhere
exactly.
else. So there's
You're
just no
piling in.
there's no time for email, but I feel better knowing that they got a response and I
Yeah,
let them know, like, here's some information. And then, by the way, I value this. So you may not hear from me for
yes,
24 to 48 hours, but people respect that. And then it's like, oh, okay, she may not get back to me for a couple
yeah,
days, but I at least initiated the response. And it's not somewhere
yeah,
in that void of like, did she get an email? Is she even a legit business? Is it
yeah,
somebody that's going to respond eventually? Like all of those things, all of those questions.
exactly. And like that, I love. That I absolutely love. It's those kind of things that I find so useful. It's when people take it, and I've had people ask me, will you set up like the long strings of com that just keeps responding to people? And I'm like, no,
At some point, you have to take the conversation over.
no. Like, you can do that, but no. I
Well,
won't. I won't do that. And yes, I know how. I won't do it. I won't.
well, it's like the people that ask me to edit out every imperfection and then
Yeah.
to make them look different. Like, oh, and I
No.
did it, I did it once and I was like, so here's my thing about the way that I take photos. Ultimately, I want them to see them and then when they meet you, be like, yep. Now,
Same
I've had
person.
people I've had people kick back at me because I include hair and makeup for my photo sessions.
Hmm.
Selfishly, for me, it's the experience. You don't need to get your hair and makeup done to get a photo session done. But what
Oh,
I
I would
love
want
about it,
to.
yes, and
Like,
this is for me, it's the side effect of it. It's
yeah.
not necessarily that I feel like you have to look perfect on camera.
No.
What happens is my clients start their day, and I've seen a complete difference between those that get hair and makeup done versus those that don't. So, majority of my clients are moms, but even if you're not a mom, you live in a world where there could be traffic, there could be an accident. Like
Mhm.
you woke up and the cat or the dog or the somebody did something. And so then now you're frazzled. You're worried about the photo session because it's an investment and you've got to have time and do you have everything that you need and all of the stuff. And if you go to my hair and makeup artist, now you get to sit down and for 90 minutes, you're getting pampered. You're just
Yeah.
getting to sit. You can't
Mhm.
really be on your phone because you're getting your makeup done. So you have to have your eyes closed. You may be able to check in a text message or two, but ultimately you're getting pampered and you're sitting and you're not distracted. It's like you and a hair and makeup artist.
Yeah.
Is that relaxation that you're getting for those 90 minutes? And then
I want that.
when you stand up, you're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like, okay. And it's
Yeah.
not just the hair and makeup, it's the fact that, like, you got to relax, you got to Zen, and then now you're ready. And it's like, game on, time for my photo
Mhm.
session. And so they walk into photo sessions different than my client that skipped that 90 minutes of sitting and relaxing and literally walks into the session after having been stuck in bumper to bumper traffic or cleaned up. I've heard it all, like the dog threw up,
Yeah.
the cat knocked over something. Like it's literally like the kids, the whatever life. And then I have to spend some time bringing my client down. But then it's still hard to overcome the fact that like your mind's still racing a million miles a minute.
Yeah.
So the hair and the makeup for me, it's part of my client experience. It's so that they feel pampered. I'm eliminating a pain point. You don't have to worry about it. You just have to
Mhm.
get yourself to the hair and makeup artist chair. And then the rest of it comes to play. But that's why I also include a stylist. Like one of the major pain points outside of I want to lose 20 pounds is I have no idea what to wear. I'm like, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm not a professional stylist. I can look at something and say yes or no, it looks good, or let's look for something different, but I can't tell you what to get different.
Yeah.
So, working with the stylist, you eliminate those pain points. And then the best part of this is that you're wearing stuff that you feel confident in. Like that's the piece. Yes, it
Yeah.
eliminates a pain point. Yes, it eliminates a guesswork. But when my clients walk in and you know those outfits, you know that you have those outfits that when you put them on, you stand a little taller.
Hmm.
You just feel like this is me. Again, it comes to the authenticity of it. And then it's another one of my secrets where it's like, it's not a secret. I'm telling everybody I do it, but there's a reason and it's part of the experience. So for me, that also relates to my branding because my clients feel taken care of.
Yeah.
Like, you still have to show up. You still have to put in the work. You got to get the props. You got to do
Yeah.
the shopping. You have to do those pieces. But I'm trying to take care of you in a way that it's like, I'm going to make it as seamless and easy as possible to eliminate as many objections, minimize the pain points so that you enjoy the experience. And my hope is by the end of the photo session, you're like, when are we doing this again? Because
Yeah.
this was amazing and you haven't even seen the photos yet. And
Well, I'm
then,
just like, I'm thinking like, where do I find the Canada you right now?
ah, you have to let me know where you live because I
I
actually
know.
am in a mastermind with a lady that's in Canada and she
Oh,
shoots a lot like I do. So
amazing.
I will connect you. Or I joke, I'm like, one of these days I'd be more than happy to travel to Canada. We could also talk about that. But
Yeah.
there is Canada versions of me out there because the brand photos, like the experience itself, and then for me, what it does is that it allows you to focus on your zone of genius and
Yeah.
still consistently show up because you
Yeah.
batch create the content. So then you're not having to worry about creating content every day and then still finding time to do all the things that you are the only one that can do.
Yeah.
Like you're the only one that can talk to your clients and talk about the service, unless you have like account managers or whatever. But still, at the end of the day, there's only certain things that you can do. And then there's other stuff that people can help you with. So
Yeah.
if I can help you create that library and then you just get to show up consistently without having to turn on, right? Because even if you're comfortable and you don't care, you still have to make sure you take the time to do it.
Yeah.
Like it's still time on your day, like your to-do list. And I don't know about you, but I go through and I'm in one of those seasons right now where the consistency on my own stuff has kind of fallen by the wayside because I've been so
Yeah.
focused on my clients.
Yeah.
And like, it is so easy to get into, I'm consumed by providing for my clients that I forget to do for myself.
Yes.
And then, but I just joke about how much I was like, I've got all the content. Now I just need someone to reach in and get it and actually go make it go
Right.
live. I'm the bottleneck. I've got my
Yeah.
team that's like, Joe, just give it to me. And I'm like, okay, but I've got a little bit of a breakdown. Like,
Yeah.
when like storage gets full or I have stuff on a hard drive and I'm like, well, it's not going to do you any good on the hard drive if you can't access it, but then I have to upload it. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
talk to Tara if you're listening to me going, yeah, uh-huh, and have her help you with systems and processes so that you don't bottleneck your business because
Yes.
that is another piece I think relates into branding is if
Totally.
you're not able to do it and then you're standing in your own way,
Hmm.
you're creating issues not only for yourself, whether you're getting burnout, which is
Yes.
hard to carry because then you're like, I don't want to do anything,
Yep.
or you're starting to fall behind on delivering for clients or communicating with clients or
Hmm.
whatever the piece may be. Like it's all of it's branding. There's
Yeah.
It's so interrelated to the client
Yeah.
experience, to how you show up, to your visuals. Like it's not just a logo and not just your website. And like it's all of it.
Exactly.
It
It
is all of
ripples
it.
out into everything.
Yes.
Everything. Yeah. It's so interesting. I love it. So, how do you, what is like the most common way that you work with clients? Like, what's the biggest thing right now?
Oh, I would say in between my brand amplifier partnership, where I am actually doing brand photos and then partnering with my clients and doing monthly strategic implementation calls. So I'm helping them with what to do and how to do it And then if they want the support of somebody doing it for them, we can. But my biggest piece is that, or the rebrand intensive, where I have clients who did it themselves. They may have used a template, they may have copied somebody, and they're just in that phase where they've found success, but they just don't feel like they align with their brand anymore. And then I'm coming in and helping them really just elevate their brand so that they can reignite that spark and feel truly connected to how they're showing up so that they can get to that next level.
Yes, I love that. I love that so much. So
Yeah.
where can everyone find you so that they can go check all of these things out?
Branding by Jo on all the things. So brandingbyjo.com. I'm branding by Jo on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. I'm kind of everywhere. Or if you're into podcasts, check out the Branded Impact podcast. And I am hosting other women founders who are sharing their stories and what they've done in branding, what's worked, some of what hasn't, what they wish they would have done sooner, all the things.
Amazing. I love it. All right. Well, go definitely check out Joe. Thank you so much for coming on. This has been an amazing conversation. I absolutely love it.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
Yes, it has. All right. And I will leave you with, as always, go after everything that you fucking want and be unapologetic about it.